IELTS reading tips. Type short answer questions. These questions are often called comprehension questions, and they are very common in English classrooms all over the world. Most students have answered these kinds of questions before, and for this reason most students tend to do quite well with them. Come to common problems. 1. Synonyms and paraphrasing are the biggest problem. Students who are unaware of these tend to look for keywords in the text that directly match those in the questions. This wastes lots of time, and good time management is essential in the reading test. 2. Word limit can also cause people to throw away easy marks. If you write over the stated word limit, you will get the answer wrong. 3. You don't have to read every word of the text. These questions test your ability to skim and scan for specific information. You also won't have time to read every word. 4. Students often see a word they don't understand in the question or text and either panic or spend too much time thinking about the meaning. 5. Some students try to write full sentences. Your answers don't have to be grammatically correct, so stay under the word limit. Here are a few tips. 1. The answers appear in the same order as the text. 2. Skim and scan the passage quickly and understand the overall meaning. 3. Look at and understand the questions first before you start reading the text. What is the question actually asking? 4. You will probably be given a word limit, for example, no more than 3 words or a number. Make sure you don't go over this limit. 5. As stated above, the answers do not need to be grammatically correct, just short answers. 6. Don't give your opinion, just the answer in the text. 7. Keywords in the question will normally be nouns or noun phrases. Strategy. 1. Read the instructions carefully and note the word limit. 2. Read and understand the questions. Think about the information you will need to find. 3. Underline any keywords in the questions. 4. Think about synonyms or paraphrases for these keywords. 5. Find part of the text question 1 relates to. 6. Read question again. 7. Read the section containing the answer carefully and identify answer. 8. Continue with next question and repeat until finished.
IELTS reading tips type 1, matching information. In this kind of question you are asked to match statements to paragraphs in the reading text. The statements could be reasons, descriptions, summaries, definitions, facts or explanations. What they are doesn't really matter. You are not expected to have specialist knowledge in the reading test. You do not need to understand what the whole paragraph is about, just find specific information in the paragraph and match it to one of the statements. The answer will normally be contained in a whole phrase or sentence, rather than a single word. Here are a few reading skills that can help you. You will first have to be able to skim the reading text to get a general meaning of each paragraph. You will also have to scan for specific words within the paragraphs. It is more likely that you will be looking for synonyms, different words that mean the same or nearly the same, and paraphrases rather than keywords from the question statements. When you have found the words or phrases you think might give you the correct answer, you have to read very carefully in order to fully understand the meaning to be able to decide if it is really the correct answer. Common problems in reading test. The biggest problem is the fact that you need to look at the whole text. The answers could be anywhere in the text and they do not come in order, so it takes time. Also, The answers might not be the main idea of each paragraph. Normally paragraphs contain one main idea, and reading the first and last lines of the paragraph can help you understand this. With these questions, the answer could be in any part of the paragraph and you cannot therefore just quickly skim to find it. There is also lots of irrelevant information that you do not need to consider. The strategy below will help you ignore much of this irrelevant information. Finally, as stated above, not all paragraphs contain an answer and some paragraphs contain more than one answer. Here are a few tips. 1. Do this question last. If you do other questions first, you will become familiar with the passage and this will help you identify the correct information more quickly and easily. 2. Try to find names, place names and numbers in the questions. These are often easier to find in the text. 3. Be aware that there may be synonyms. For example, you might see apostrophe 34% apostrophe in the question but it might say just over a third or about a third in the text. The strategy below will help you in reading tests. 1. Read the instructions carefully. 2. Read the questions first. Think about synonyms and how you could paraphrase the statements. This will help you identify the answer. Saying each statement in your own words can help do this. 3. Quickly skim the reading text to try to understand the general meaning of the text. 4. Read the question statements again and predict which paragraph contains the answer. 5. Scan the text paragraphs you think might contain the answer for synonyms. If you find a possible answer, underline it. 6. Check back with the question statement and mark answer if correct. If not, move on to other paragraphs. Thank you for your watching. Let's see more videos to get more tips for IELTS tests.
IELTS Reading Tips Type 2, Matching Heading. In the IELTS reading test you may be asked to match headings to sections of the text. This type of question tests your ability to understand the main idea of each paragraph. Headings are short sentences that summarize the information in a paragraph. You have to pick the one that best summarizes the information in a paragraph. You reading text to one heading. There are always more headings than paragraphs. Will be given between 5 and 7 headings and asked to match each paragraph in the. There are some common problems in IELTS reading tests. 1. There is too much information to get through and not enough time. 2. Trying to match a word or words from the headings to a word in the text. 3. Some of the headings may appear to have the same meaning. 4. Some students only read the first sentence of each paragraph and do not understand the main idea of the paragraph. 5. Spending too much time on one paragraph or heading. 6. Answers are not in the same order as the text. Here a few tips and solutions can help you do IELTS tests better. 1. Do this question first. By doing this you will be able to get the general meaning of the text as a whole, and this will help you with the rest of the question that requires you to take a more detailed look at the text. 2. You are not expected to read every word of the text. This will take too long and you don't have time for this. A good way to do this is to read the first 1 or 2 sentences and the last sentence of the paragraphs. You can also briefly look at the rest of the paragraph, but you don't have to read every word. 3. If there are words you don't understand, don't worry about this. Again, you should only worry about the general meaning of the paragraph as a whole, not individual words. Even native speakers will fail to understand every word in the IELTS reading test. 4. Be aware of synonyms. Many students look for words that match exactly with words in the text and ignore synonyms. For example, a keyword in the heading might be beautiful. However, the word you're looking for could be many different synonyms of beautiful, like attractive, pretty, lovely or stunning. 5. If there are 2 or 3 headings that are similar, write them beside the paragraph and try to find out the difference between the 2 headings. What are the keywords? How does this change the meaning? Which one matches the paragraph best? 6. If you still can't decide which one suits best, move on and come back to it later. The answer will normally be easier to find after you have matched some more headings. 7. Ignore anything you already know about the topic. You are being tested on the text only. 8. Don't read too quickly. Some teachers advise that students should just skim the text because you don't have much time. In my experience, this leads to students not understanding most of the text and making mistakes. It is better to do this a little slower and actually understand what is in front of you. 9. Don't panic if you know nothing about the general topic of the reading text. The IELTS reading test is not a knowledge test and you are not expected to have prior knowledge of. The IELTS reading test is not a knowledge test and you are not expected to have prior knowledge of the topic. 10. Don't look at the headings first. This will automatically make you look for specific words in the text rather than the main idea. Remember, it is your ability to find the main idea that is being tested, not your ability to find specific information. Instead of reading the headings first, ignore them and get the general meaning of each paragraph first by reading the first and last sentences. And there are some strategy. 1. If this type of question is on the test, do it first. 2. Don't look at the headings. 3. Read the first 1 or 2 sentences and the last sentence of each paragraph to understand the general meaning of the paragraph. Don't worry about highlighting keywords in the test. Try to sum up the general meaning of each paragraph in 1 or 2 words. 4. Look at the headings and identify keywords within each heading. 5. Match any headings that are very obvious and you are sure about. 6. For the others, write 2 or 3 headings beside the paragraph. Identify the difference between each of the headings. Establish if there are any synonyms in the paragraph to keywords in the headings. 7. If you still can't pick one, move on. The answer will often reveal itself later. 8. Repeat until finished. Thanks for your watching. Let's see more videos to get more tips.